I remember sitting at my kitchen table at 2 in the morning. It was late 2008. I had just checked my bank account for the third time that night, like somehow, if I looked again, the numbers would be different. My coworker, Dave, his retirement money had just dropped in half. Half! Like if he had $20,000, now he had 10,000, just gone. But there was this other guy at work, real quiet, always brought his lunch in an old Tupperware. While Dave was freaking out, this guy was calm. Actually, he was buying stuff while everything was cheap. And I remember thinking, what does he know that I don't? That's when I realized something. We spend our whole lives hoping the stock market goes up, praying our investments grow, crossing our fingers. But nobody teaches us what to do when everything crashes. Nobody teaches us how to make money when things fall apart. My name is Richard, and I teach what schools should have taught us about money. I spend my time learning about why some people get rich easily, while other people stay broke their whole lives. And make sure you smash that like button and hit subscribe if this video helps you understand money better. Now, before we get into the topic, picture this. You're on your phone before bed. You see a headline? Experts warn about market crash. Then another one. National debt hits all-time high. Your Instagram has a video about the economy collapsing. Your dad calls asking if he should take his money out of his retirement account. Your Uber driver last week said he's buying extra canned food. And here's what nobody's saying out loud, but everyone's thinking it. Something feels wrong. Everything costs more. Stocks are at record highs. Houses are crazy expensive. Even Bitcoin is going wild. But your paycheck? It doesn't go as far as it used to at the grocery store. You know what this feels like? It feels like 1999, right before the internet stock crash. It feels like 2007, right before the housing crash that wiped people out. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to wake you up. Because while regular people are arguing about if a crash is coming, rich people aren't asking if, they're asking when. And more importantly, they're asking, what should I buy when it happens? Think about it. AI companies are worth more than some countries. The government owes $37 trillion. Regular people like us can barely afford an emergency car repair. This doesn't feel normal, and you know it. But here's where things get interesting. The same three types of investments have protected people during every big crash in the last 25 years. The 2000 internet crash, the 2008 housing crash, the 2020 pandemic. Every single time, these three things either stayed valuable or actually went UP while everything else crashed. And the best part? You don't need to be rich to buy them. You don't need a college degree. You just need to know what they are and why they work. Let me tell you something that sounds crazy. Recessions are gifts. I know that sounds stupid. How can losing money be a gift? But here's what they don't teach you. Recessions happen every 7 to 10 years. Always like clockwork. We had one in 2000, one in 2008, one in 2020. And yeah, we're probably getting another one soon. But here's the secret. More people become millionaires during recessions than any other time. Why? Because recessions are like Black Friday for investments. Everything goes on sale. Stocks that cost $100, now they're $50. Houses that were too expensive, now they're affordable. People who have a plan and some money saved, they're buying everything cheap. But most people panic. They sell everything at the worst time. They take their money out right when they should be buying more. Let me tell you about my friend Mike. Mike worked at Target, stocking shelves, made about $35,000 a year, normal guy. In 2008, when everything crashed, everyone at work was scared. They stopped putting money in their retirement accounts. Some people even took all their money out. But Mike kept putting money in. Every paycheck, he bought the same investment. He just kept buying while everything was cheap. By 2015, his money had doubled. It literally doubled. His coworkers? They were still trying to get back to where they started. What was the difference? Mike saw the recession as a chance to buy cheap stuff. Everyone else saw it as a disaster. Here's what's going to blow your mind. You've been taught to be scared of recessions. The news makes them sound like the end of the world. Your parents probably still have nightmares about 2008. But here's the truth. If you're young, like in your 20s, 30s, or 40s, a recession is the best thing that can happen to you because everything you want to buy just went on sale. Think about it. If your favorite store had everything 50% off, would you stay home? Or would you go shopping? That's what a recession is. It's a huge sale on things that build wealth, but only if you know what to buy. Most people just buy whatever's cheap. That's like going to a clearance sale and buying junk just because it's on sale. You don't want cheap junk. You want good stuff that's temporarily cheap. So if recessions are chances to get rich, what should you buy? Let me show you 3 types of investments that go UP when everything else goes down. First one, gold. Now, I know what you're thinking. Richard, gold? That's what old people talk about? You're right. But people have valued gold for literally thousands of years. There's a reason for that. Let me explain why gold works, what it does, and how you can buy it without burying gold bars in your backyard like a crazy person. Gold doesn't care about the stock market. When people get scared, they buy gold. When the economy looks bad, they buy gold. When their money is losing value, they buy gold. It's like insurance for your money. Think of gold like a fire extinguisher. You don't buy it because you want a fire. You buy it in case there is a fire. Gold is the same. In 2020, when the pandemic hit and stocks crashed 30%, gold went up 25%. In 2008, when the housing market collapsed and stocks fell 35%, gold went up 5%. When internet stocks crashed in 2000 and fell 70%, gold went up 22%. See the pattern? When everything else falls, gold goes up. Here's what people get wrong. Gold is not really an investment. Gold is insurance. What's the difference? An investment makes you money. Like Apple makes iPhones, they make profit, they grow, that makes you money. Gold just sits there. It doesn't make anything, it doesn't pay you money. So why own it? Because when everything else is crashing, gold keeps its value? It's like a life raft. You don't get on a life raft for fun. You get on it because the boat is sinking. You might be thinking, but I don't have anywhere to store gold bars. Good news. You don't need gold bars. You can buy something called a gold ETF. ETF stands for Exchange Traded Fund. That's just a fancy way of saying it's like a stock, but instead of one company, it represents gold. The 2 biggest ones are called GLD and IAU. You can buy these on any stock app, Robinhood, Fidelity, Cash App, whatever. They work just like regular stocks. Super easy. You're not getting actual gold delivered to your house. You're getting a piece of paper, digital paper, that says you own some gold. The gold is stored somewhere safe, and you can sell your piece anytime. Let's say you had $1,000 in 2008. If you put it in regular stocks, you would have lost $350. Your $1,000 would drop to $650. If you put it in gold, you would have made $50. Not a lot, but you made money while everyone else lost money. You didn't get rich, but you didn't go broke either. And here's the big idea. During a recession, the goal isn't to get rich quick. The goal is to not lose your money. Because the people who don't lose their money, they have cash to buy everything else when it's super cheap. I gotta be honest about something. Gold prices right now are super high. Even though we're not in a recession yet, that's weird. It could mean people are really scared and protecting themselves early. Or it could mean too many people are buying gold and the price is too high. I don't know which one it is. Nobody does. But what I do know is this. When recessions happen, gold usually protects people. So here's how I think about it. If I'm wrong and gold goes down, I lose a little money. If I'm right and a recession happens, gold protects me while everything else crashes, I'll take that deal. So that's gold. Your insurance. But what if you want something even safer? Something backed by the government? That's our second investment. And it's interesting because most people think it's boring. But boring is exactly what you want when everything's falling apart. Next up, Treasury bonds. I know. That sounds super boring. It sounds like something your accountant talks about while you zone out. But here's the thing. When markets crash, Treasury bonds are where smart money goes. Rich people, big investors, people who know what they're doing. Let me explain why they work, what they are, and how you can use them. Here's what happens during a crash. Stocks are falling. People are scared. They don't want risky stuff anymore. They want safety. They want to know their money won't disappear. Where's the safest place? The United States government. Now, you might say, but Richard, the government is broke. They owe $37 trillion. You're right. But here's the thing. The US government has never not paid someone back. Not once. Not in over 200 years. Why? Because they can print money to pay their bills. Does that mean the dollar might be worth less? Yeah, but they'll still pay you. It's like lending money to your broke friend who has rich parents. Yeah, he's broke, but his parents will bail him out. You're getting paid. The Treasury bond is just a loan you give to the government. You give them money, they pay you back with a little extra. That extra is called interest. That's it. But here's where it gets a tiny bit confusing. When lots of people want to buy Treasury bonds, the price goes up, but the interest you earn goes down. Why? Think of it like this. If everyone wants to lend money to the government says, we don't need to pay you much. We've got tons of people wanting to give us money. But if nobody wants to lend money, the government says, okay, we'll pay you more if you lend to us. It's backwards, but that's how it works. You could go to the government website and buy them directly, but that website is confusing and looks like it's from 1995. An easier way? Buy a Treasury bond ETF. Two good ones, TLT and IEF. TLT is for 20-year bonds. IEF is for 7 to 10-year bonds. You buy them exactly like stocks. Super simple. Let's see what happened during crashes. In 2020, regular stocks went up 18% for the year. TLT also went up 18%. In 2008, stocks fell 35%. TLT went up 28%. During the internet crash from 2000 to 2002, stocks fell 37%. Treasury bonds went up 45%. See what's happening? When everything crashes, Treasury bonds go up because scared people run to safety. Here's what people don't understand about bonds. They think bonds are boring, bonds don't make money. And you're right, bonds are boring. But here's the secret. Bonds aren't about getting rich. Bonds are about making sure you still have money when everyone else is broke. Let me tell you a story. My Uncle Jim in 2008 had $50,000, all in stocks, nothing safe. When everything crashed, his $50,000 dropped to $30,000. He panicked and sold. My Aunt Linda also had $50,000, but she split it, half in stocks, half in Treasury bonds. When the crash happened, her stocks went down, but her bonds went up. Her $50,000 became $45,000. She lost $5,000. Jim lost $20,000. 5 years later, Linda had $70,000. Jim was still at $35,000, trying to catch up. The difference? Linda had a safety net. Treasury bonds are like keeping cash under your mattress, except the government pays you a little bit for letting them hold it. In good times, nobody cares. It's boring. In bad times, it saves you. Treasury bonds usually don't make much money, maybe 2, 3, 4%. That's nothing exciting. But we're not talking about normal times. We're talking about when the world feels like it's ending. That's when Treasury bonds become the smartest thing you own. Okay, so we have gold for insurance, Treasury bonds for safety. But what if you want to own companies that make stuff people always buy, even when they're broke? That's where defensive ETFs come in. And this is really interesting because we're talking about 3 different types of investments that all protect you when everything else crashes. Last category, defensive ETFs. When I say defensive, I don't just mean army stuff. I mean investments that defend your money, that protect you. Let me ask you something. If you lost your job tomorrow, would you stop brushing your teeth? Would you stop buying toilet paper? Would you stop eating? Of course not. Even in a bad economy, people still buy certain things. Toothpaste, soap, food, toilet paper. The companies that make that stuff, they keep making money. Here's what happens. When the economy is good, people buy everything. New phones, nice cars, vacations, fancy stuff. When the economy crashes, people stop buying fun stuff, but they don't stop buying necessary stuff. Your friend loses his job. Does he stop buying toothpaste? Does he stop going to Walmart? No. He might not buy a new iPhone. He might cancel his vacation, but he's still buying laundry detergent and toothpaste. Companies that make those things, they keep making money. There's 3 types I want to teach you. Number 1, dividend companies. Number 2, consumer staples companies. Number 3, defense companies. Let me explain each one in simple terms. First, what's a dividend? A dividend is when a company pays you just for owning their stock, like a little paycheck every few months. Now, dividend aristocrat companies are special. These are companies that have paid you more money every single year for at least 25 years straight. Think about that. Through good times, bad times, recessions, crashes, every year they pay you more. If a company can do that for 25 years, they're probably not going out of business. Two good ETFs, NOBL and VIG. NOBL only includes big companies that have increased their dividend every year for 25 years or more. Right now, it pays about 2% per year. Not going to make you rich overnight, but it's steady and reliable. VIG is similar, made by a company called Vanguard. Same idea. Companies with good dividends that keep growing. When a recession happens, people want safe investments. Companies that pay dividends are usually bigger, stronger, safer companies. Why? Because to pay a dividend, you need extra money. Profit. If a company is still giving money away during a recession, that tells you they're strong. Consumer staples is just a fancy way of saying stuff people always buy. Companies like Procter & Gamble makes toothpaste and diapers. Coca-Cola makes Coke. Walmart sells groceries. Costco, bulk food and stuff. People buy this stuff whether the economy is good or bad. Now here are two good ETFs for this. XLP and VDC. XLP has about 37 different companies. VDC has about 106 companies. So VDC gives you more variety. During the 2000 internet crash, tech stocks fell 70%. 70! Consumer staples? They stayed about the same or even went up a little. Why? Because people kept buying soap and groceries. Same thing in 2008. Tech got crushed. Consumer staples held up way better. Wall Street wants you to chase exciting stocks like Tesla, Nvidia, and crypto, stuff that goes up 100% in a year. But the people who stay rich during crashes, they own boring stuff. Because boring stuff doesn't go bankrupt. When I was younger, I thought investing meant finding the next big thing, the next Apple. The company that would explode and make me rich fast. You know what happened? I lost money. A lot of money. Because I was chasing excitement instead of buying stable companies. Now I own boring companies, companies that make soap, companies that have paid dividends for 30 years. And during the last market crash, my account barely moved. While my friends lost 20 or 30%, I only lost like 5%. That's the power of boring. Last one. And I'm only mentioning this because of what's happening right now in the world. There's a lot of tension, wars, conflicts, scary stuff overseas. And here's the uncomfortable truth. When wars happen, some companies make money. Companies that make ammunition, tanks, guns, airplanes for the military, all that stuff comes from regular companies, and governments pay them. Even during recessions, governments keep paying for defense. Here are the best two ETFs for this, ITA and PPA. ITA has about 39 companies. PPA has about 60. Now, I'm not saying war is good. I'm not celebrating it. I'm just saying, if you look at the world and see tensions rising, defense stocks usually do well during those times. You're not putting all your money in one place. You're spreading it around. You're building a toolbox. Gold is your insurance. Treasury bonds are your safety net. Defensive stocks are your stability. So now you know the three types of investments that protect you when everything crashes. But knowing what to buy is only half the battle. You also need to know when to buy and how much to buy, because if you just run out and put all your money in gold tomorrow, you might mess up. Let me show you exactly how to do this the right way. Okay, let's get practical. Here's what happens to most people. They watch a video like this, get excited, go buy a bunch of stuff, then 6 months later they panic and sell everything. Don't be that person. Investing without a plan is like driving with no destination. You're moving, but you don't know where you're going. The goal isn't to time the market perfectly. Nobody can do that. The goal is to position your money so that no matter what happens, you're okay. You don't put all your money in one place. You spread it out. Diversify. It's like having different tools. You need a hammer, a screwdriver, a wrench. Same with money. You need gold for insurance, treasuries for safety, defensive stocks for stability. Let's say you have $1,000 to invest right now, and you're worried about a recession. Here's what I would do. Put $400 in a defensive dividend ETF, NOBL or VIG. Put $300 in a gold ETF, GLD or IAU. Put $300 in a Treasury bond ETF, TLT or IEF. That's it. Super simple. If you have more money, use the same percentages. If you have less, same percentages. The ratios matter more than the exact dollar amount. Here's what sounds crazy but is true. The goal isn't to get rich fast. The goal is to be the person who still has money when everyone else is panicking, because that's when real opportunities show up. In 2008, people who had cash bought houses for half price. In 2020, people who had cash bought Amazon and Apple at huge discounts. The people who made money weren't the ones trying to time everything perfectly. They were the ones who protected their money so they could buy when everything was cheap. None of this is guaranteed. You can still lose money. Weird stuff can happen. But history shows that these three things, gold, treasury bonds, defensive stocks, usually protect you better than just regular stocks during crashes. That's the best we can do. All right, here's what we learned. Recessions happen every 7 to 10 years, always. They're coming. But you don't have to be scared, you can be ready. Gold ETFs protect you when the dollar loses value. Treasury bond ETFs give you safety when everyone's freaking out. Defensive ETFs let you own companies that people can't stop buying from. If you only remember one thing, remember this. The people who get rich during recessions had a plan before everything crashed. Here's your homework. Open your stock app, Robinhood, Fidelity, Cash App, whatever you use. Look up these, GLD, TLT, and NOBL. You don't have to buy anything today. Just look at them, read about them, get familiar. Because when the crash comes, and it will, you'll know exactly what to do while everyone else panics. If this video helped you understand recessions better, share it with someone who's stressed about money, a friend, family member, someone who needs this. That's how we spread real money education. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.